get right into making this video with the tools you need to draft this pattern. First, you need your ruler, your nice looking beautiful ruler. Then you need your scissors, your 60-inch measuring tape, your tailor's chalk, and finally you need your French curve. This French curve is not even so much of a need, it's optional, totally optional. Now let's go. Start by ruling out half an inch at the top where you choose to be the top of the fabric. So now at the top where you choose the top of the fabric should be. This fabric must be folded into two with the folded part at the center. Now you see the way I open it up here, this fabric must be folded into two. Then the front pattern is what we want to create here. You start by taking out your measurements. You start with your horizontal measurement, which is the shoulder measurement. My shoulder measurement here is 15.5 divided by 2, 7.75. Now you go ahead to take some vertical measurements, and I want to proceed like this because my camera frame is too small and I noticed that the camera was not capturing everything I needed. I start by taking my bust line measurement, my vertical bust line measurement, which is 10.5, and then I come up by 2 inches to get my chest line measurement, which becomes 8.5. Now and then from that point I'll mark my armhole. So my armhole is another vertical measurement. The vertical measurement for my armhole goes from my shoulder line to my chest line, not my bust line. So it goes from my shoulder line to my chest line. Then I'll come up and I'll measure ½ inch inwards from that line, ½ inch downwards from my shoulder line, and then 1 inch outward or upward from my chest line. So I'll do that using my French curve. I'll mark this line. So then I'll come in after doing all this. Please, I noticed that some people use 1 whole inch to come down at their shoulder slope. So from their shoulder, please comment which one you use. If you use ½ an inch like me, or if you use 1 inch like some people I noticed. I'm waiting to see your comments and I will definitely reply to them. Let's go. So let's come back to our other horizontal measurements. Your bust, waist, and hip. We'll be using our vertical measurement points to mark them. At the bust, for the bust measurement, the bust horizontal measurement, we're going to be using our chest line. We're going to be using our bust line, rather, your bust line to mark it. Now this point is 8.5. 8.5, that is 34 divided by 4 inches, and then we'll add 2 inch allowance, which makes it 10.5. So now to get our waist measurement, we're going to be marking our half length measurement. Your half length is where your dress stops at your waist when you want to sew clothes like flay gown or you want to sew darted measurement. So now the half length for this cloth is 17 inches. Now for you to see what I'm doing, you have to pull the cloth, and now at that 17 inches I will mark downwards for my hip line. That's to get my last vertical measurement. My hip line for this person is 9 inches. It is not constant, it depends on the person. So now the hip line here is 9 inches. I'll just rule that out and then we'll get going to mark our remaining horizontal measurement. So let's proceed to mark the waist measurement, which is 30 inches divided by 4. That is 7.5 inches, as you see me marking here, and I'll add 2 inches allowance. I later went ahead to add 0.5 rather. I added 0.5 inch allowance later on. Well, and then I took it out, and I don't even know why I added it in the first place. So then I'm coming to the hip line now to I'm marking 10 inches. So it's 10 inches here. That is 40 inches divided by 4, and I'm adding 2 inch allowance. I hope we get that. Using my ruler now, I'm going to connect the bust point to the waist point, now down to the hip point. You are free to use your hand to make this sketch. You don't necessarily need a ruler, but if you feel you're not confident enough, please use a ruler. And I'm going to use my hand because our waist is not sharp. I'm going to use my hand to make this curved a little. I'm going to use my hand making this curved a little, as you're seeing me do right now. And I never said you were not confident in yourself. Please, I'm always here rooting for you. We are all growing to be confident women, confident men. Please, I love you very much. Leave a comment below if you've been enjoying the video so far. So I have to apologize at this point because I had to cut out where I was measuring the full length of the gown. All I did was that I measured from the shoulder downwards vertically, and I measured 43 inches. That's the gown length. I added 2-inch allowance. Now this is a straight gown, I have to remind you. So instead of coming in by 2 inch like I normally do, I left it at my hip measurement. So instead I even added half an inch, and then it became 10.5. As you saw on the screen, it became 10.5, and I added 2-inch allowance, which made it 12.5. Now using my ruler, I connected the hip to the waist. And please don't forget to subscribe if you've not done so yet. Please subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell. And if you would like a full tutorial on how to make a pencil gown, not a straight gown, please let me know in the comment section below. Alright, so I'll be organizing a 6 days free beginners class in February 2023. How sweet is that? And I'll be taking us on things like full body measurement, basic bodies, 23 neck styles. Now watch to the end for details. And now while we're at this, we're going to be sloping the shoulder. I'm sorry that this is not showing. Sloping the shoulder with our shoulder slope, which we marked at half an inch before. Now we're going to I found this very unnecessary because at the end of the day I didn't cut it and I had to mark it again. While doing that, I confirmed all measurements. I confirmed all my measurements. Never be too sure of your measurements. Confirm and cut. Confirm before you cut out. Alright? This is the front pattern we just created on another cut out fabric. So this is the front pattern I just worked on, and I just cut out another fabric exactly the same length, the same gown length, with little allowance in front of you. So you can see the little allowance that's at your front, and I marked it at 1.5 inch. See me reducing it at 1.5 inch. Yours can be more, but I made my own small like this because the slits in this dress was very little. It was as little as 4 inches. It's as little as 4 inches, so I marked it, and every other thing apart from this allowance is exactly the same. So you cut it out easily. So for our 6-day free beginner class that we're going to be organizing, all you just need to do is to fill out the link in the description below. It is actually a form that I need your email, and I need you to answer 2 other questions. It's not going to take your time at all. So we're going to watch your growth together. We're going to all grow together. Now, before the end of the year, we're going to be learning together. So I'm not going to be teaching you. We're going to be learning 15 different neck styles while we're waiting for the 23 neck styles in the free beginners class in February. So that is why I'm not really explaining what I did here, but if you can catch on what I did, why not? So this is the neck pattern that I used for this dress. I cut one of the depths lower than the other. One of the depths was a little higher, and that was what I used for the back of the dress. So you see that I didn't cut them together. Watch as I cut this. So this is your perfect round neck pattern. How beautiful is this? All that's left is for us to cut the lining. Here I cut the lining, and as you can see here, I made this 2 inch higher than the actual fabric. Are you looking at it? So I made it 2 inch higher. Watch my measurements. See, it's 2 inch higher actually. Don't mind the way it's folded. I made it 2 inch higher. So it's 2 inch shorter. Let's use that word. It's 2 inch shorter. So instead, you see, I'll make a notch right now. Instead of me making a notch at that 2 inch point, I'm going to come up and make a notch at 1.5 inch. Why? Because I did not leave an allowance at the top of the dress. I didn't leave a seam allowance at the top of the dress for the joining of the shoulder. So I'm going to leave it at 1.5 inch instead of 2 inches. So if you actually loved watching this video, I am going to leave the next video I'm going to leave is a short video on how I made the dress, especially how I easily joined the zipper and how I joined the sleeve. So if you are waiting, if you want to watch the video, please don't forget to turn on your notification bell. If you've not subscribed, do so right now. And please don't forget to follow our social media handles at The Carries Brand. The Carries Brand. We're on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook at The Carries Brand. And let's watch this community. We grow together. Love you.